All right, let's jump right in. For anyone in research, theory development is pretty much the heart and soul of what we do. But, let's be real. It can often feel like you're being asked to build a skyscraper with no blueprints. It's a huge task.
Right? You're staring at all the literature, you can kind of see the gaps, but actually turning that feeling into a solid, defensible theory, it can honestly feel like you're just wandering through a maze, hitting one dead end after another.
And hey, if you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. The paper we're digging into today points out this huge problem. A lot of the guides that are supposed to help us are, well, they're all over the place. They focus on one little piece of the puzzle, and you're left to try and connect all the dots yourself.
So, that is what we're here to talk about. We're going to use a really fantastic paper as our guide. A roadmap, really, to walk through a clear, step-by-step, and actionable way to build theories that are strong and that actually make an impact.
Okay, so before we start building anything, we need to look at the blueprint, right? What are we even aiming for? What makes a theory a good theory in the first place? Well, at its core, a theory is just a lens that helps us see the world a little more clearly. And it really boils down to two key parts. First, there's abstraction. This is all about setting the boundaries, the what, who, where, and when of whatever you're studying. And then there's assumption. This is the engine of the theory. It's the why and the how it all works.
Now, this is super helpful because it clears up three words that, let's be honest, get mixed up all the time. A concept is just the big, abstract idea, like customer satisfaction. A construct is how you make that idea measurable, maybe with a survey or something. And the variable is what you actually test. It's the value that changes. So think of it this way: idea, measurement, test. So simple, but so important.
So here's the deal. Any good theory really stands on these three pillars. It has to be generalizable, meaning it's not just a one-off thing that works in one specific situation. It's got to be extendable, so it can grow and adapt as we learn new stuff. And this one's absolutely critical. It has to be falsifiable. If you can't design a test that could potentially prove your theory wrong, it's not really a scientific theory.
All right, so we've got our blueprint. We're ready for step one, finding your gap. This is all about spotting a genuine void in the research that's already out there.
And to help us do that, the paper gives us this great little tool, the 3 U's. So you ask yourself, is this area completely unexplored? Or maybe it's underdeveloped. Some ideas are floating around, but they're not very solid. Or is it uncertain, where all the existing studies just contradict each other? These are your ways in.
But here's the million-dollar question. Just because you found an empty space, does that automatically mean it's a good place to build? Is the gap you found actually worth filling?
And the answer is no, not always. Just spotting a gap is only half the battle. The next crucial step is you have to problematize it. You need to frame it in a way that makes everybody else see why this isn't just an empty space, it's a problem that needs to be solved.
This is how you answer that "so what" question everyone always asks. You can frame your gap as part of an ongoing debate in your field, or you can point out a major disconnect between what the theories say should happen and what's actually happening in the real world. Or you can signal direness, show the urgent negative things that will happen if we keep ignoring this gap. Now that's a reason to get to work.
Okay, so you've found your gap, you've shown why it matters. Now we get to the really exciting part, the centerpiece of this whole roadmap. Step 2, making your unique contribution. And this is probably one of the most freeing ideas in the whole paper. A contribution doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel every single time. It's not all or nothing. There's a whole spectrum of novelty, from small, important tweaks to, huge, groundbreaking leaps. So at level 1, we have generalizability. This is such important work. You're taking a theory that already exists and you're testing it somewhere new or with a different group of people. You're basically stress testing it to see how well it holds up. Next up, level 2 is adaptation. This is where you're not just testing a theory, you're kind of tailoring it. You're giving it a few minor tweaks so it fits a new situation perfectly. Like taking a general business theory and adapting it for, say, the super specific world of social media influencers. At level 3, things get a little more serious. This is modification. Now you're not just tweaking, you're doing some real renovation. You might take one big concept and argue, hey, actually, this is made up of 3 smaller, distinct parts. This is how you add real depth to a theory. Then we get to level 4, which is extension.
Think of this as building a whole new addition onto the house. You're either adding a brand new, important concept into a model that's already there, or you're pulling a few different theories together to create something bigger and better.
And finally, we have the big one, Level 5, New Development. This is the giant leap. You're either building an entirely new theory from scratch, or you're proposing one because the old ones are just, well, they're broken and don't work anymore. This is as novel as it gets.
All right, you've done it. You've found your gap, you've made your contribution, but you're not done yet. The final step is to make sure everyone understands why it matters. Step 3 is all about articulating your impact.
And look, this is more than just a summary of what you did. This is your chance to show how your work has literally pushed the entire conversation in your field forward. You have to explain how things are different and better because of what you found. And again, the paper gives us this really neat, simple framework, the 3 R's. First, you recap. Just briefly say what your main contribution was. Then, retrospect. Connect the dots for everyone. Show them exactly how your work filled the gap you found at the beginning. And finally, reimagine. Lay out a roadmap for other researchers. Show them where to go next and how to build on what you've done.
And that's really the beauty of this whole thing, isn't it? It's not a finish line. It's a cycle. The roadmap you lay out for future research, well, that becomes the very starting point for the next researcher to find the next gap.
I want to leave you with this really powerful quote from the author of the paper we've been walking through. It's such a great reminder that theories aren't these fragile little things we need to protect. The best theories are the ones that are strong enough to invite challenges, to be tested, and ultimately to be improved upon. And that, really, is what pushing knowledge forward is all about.